Over the last year and a half or so, Marvel Studios has made an effort to bring back multiple people working on the Deadpool franchise and integrate them with people working on the MCU who have some experience. The latest is a pretty good indication that this thing is going to shape up to be a pretty big entry in the MCU and still very much a part of the Deadpool franchise, considering that they're adding people related to the Avengers franchise. The latest update on Deadpool 3 is that Raymond Chan has officially joined the project. Now, he's not just somebody that's pretty big when it comes to the MCU, having of course worked on Avengers films. He's worked on multiple films in the MCU, from Doctor Strange to the Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Thor, and multiple other things that happen in Hollywood that are pretty significant. For example, Children of Man. If you haven't seen that, I highly suggest it. It is a criminally underrated film that many people have not seen. On top of that, he's also worked on Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, which is pretty big, and he's even contributed to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and multiple other things. You guys can look him up. Well, what's been discovered is that he is in fact going to be heavily involved with Deadpool 3. Now, for multiple reasons, this makes sense. Again, Marvel Studios is always looking to bring in people that have worked with them before, that they know and trust, that can kind of oversee elements without being micromanaged. And we recently even found out that that's exactly what Kevin Feige's going to be doing. So it makes sense that they get somebody that kind of knows the ins and outs of the MCU, who doesn't have to literally have somebody watching over them all the time, that can sort of, shepherd a thing going forward and make sure they step in when there needs to be some sort of regulation on what's going on. And this also makes more sense when you really consider the fact that this film has to be also Deadpool 3 in nature, but connect to the MCU. So in a way, they have to have some sort of language that's visual that connects the two universes into one. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. In my opinion, this is really good because the hope is that it falls more in line with what the MCU is going to do visually when they bring the character in, and not try to do too much of what Deadpool had, considering that the style and aesthetics of the Fox-Men universe were completely different. So the hope is here that you kind of merge the two and you make it seamless, and what better way to do it than bring on people that have worked on the MCU that are going to oversee this. So pretty interesting and pretty great development, in my opinion, getting somebody that's experienced and has already more than half a decade of the MCU under their belt, especially two of their biggest films, to oversee what will definitely be at this point, $1 billion film seems like a given, right?